Most people think procrastination is obvious. Not working, not acting, wasting time. But in reality, the most common and most dangerous form of procrastination doesn't look like that at all. It looks like waking up on time, researching carefully, planning repeatedly, optimizing constantly. You're always doing something. Your schedule is full. But the one step that actually changes the outcome never happens. This state can be called hidden procrastination. It's not avoiding work. It's replacing high-impact actions with low-risk activity. You feel disciplined, but you stay in the same place. The problem isn't weak willpower. It's that the brain is running a strategy that looks rational, but is extremely conservative. A strategy designed to avoid uncertainty, failure, and exposure to judgment. That's why this video isn't about trying harder or raising standards. Instead, we'll break this down from a psychological perspective. Why the people who look the most productive often get stuck the longest, and how changing behavior structure, rather than motivation, allows action to happen naturally. Once you understand this, discipline stops being a constant drain. Most hidden procrastination looks reasonable on the surface. You're preparing, gathering information, refining the process. Time is being spent. What's missing is the action that actually affects the outcome. Not because you don't know what to do, but because you instinctively keep circling around it. Psychology calls this emotional avoidance. The brain isn't resisting work itself. It's resisting what the work might trigger: failure, uncertainty, falling short, or being evaluated by others. So the brain chooses a safer route, doing things that can't go wrong, to postpone things that might. This is why willpower rarely helps here. You're not undisciplined. Each attempt to start is being interpreted as an emotional threat. The solution isn't pushing harder, it's redesigning the emotional threshold of action. First, downgrade the task, not the standard, but the emotional intensity. Don't start with finish, start with make contact. Open the file, drop in one asset, write a single sentence. Second, limit the scope so the brain knows performance isn't required yet. Set a very short time window. Don't save the result. Don't show it to anyone. The goal is movement, not output. Third, define action as an experiment, not a commitment. Not, I need to do this well, but I'm testing what happens if I begin. When action no longer equals emotional exposure, the brain stops needing to delay. When people get stuck, their first instinct isn't to stop. It's to plan more. They rewrite task lists, adjust workflows, reorder steps. It feels like progress, but it's actually just pushing the start further away. Psychology calls this the planning fallacy. The brain overestimates future execution and underestimates real-world friction. More importantly, planning itself creates a sense of achievement. Before anything is done, you already feel like part of it is complete. Planning becomes a safe substitute. No failure, no exposure, no judgment. But there's one thing it can't produce: real feedback. The fix isn't thinking less, it's cutting off the false reward loop. First, create a rule. No optimization before action. No refining, no researching, no rearranging. Act first, edit later. Second, force a deliberately low-quality output. Short time, small scope, no perfection. You're not submitting work, you're forcing contact with reality. Third, redefine success as feedback, not performance. The goal isn't to do it well, it's to learn what doesn't work. Once real feedback exists, the brain no longer needs planning to pretend progress is happening. Some procrastination isn't caused by overload. It's caused by repetition. The same task gets reconsidered every day. Once in the morning, again at noon, again at night, then return to the list. Nothing changes. But the mental cost keeps accumulating. Psychology calls this decision fatigue. Every "I'll do it later" isn't rest. It's an unresolved decision. The brain keeps reassessing motivation, energy, and timing until willpower is quietly drained. The issue isn't discipline. It's that too much energy is being spent on deciding whether to act. The solution is to remove the decision entirely. First, turn action from an option into a process. Not, "Should I do this today?" but "This is what happens at this time." When the time arrives, action starts. Second, standardize the starting ritual. Same seat, same drink, same screen. Let the body begin before the mind negotiates. Third, shrink the task to something that can't be refused. Not an hour, 5 minutes. Not completion, just initiation. Fourth, prepare in advance to reduce future decisions. Open the file, load the assets, leave one line on the list. Move decisions to the day before. When action no longer requires choosing, discipline stops being exhausting. Sometimes you're already in position. The computer is on, time is blocked, the task is right there, but nothing happens. The screen doesn't change, your hands don't move. Not distraction, not resistance, just one looping question. Where do I even start? Psychologically, the brain cannot execute vague commands. When the internal dialogue isn't a concrete action, but what's the first step? The system never activates. This isn't a motivation problem. It's a command structure problem. Psychology calls this weak implementation intention. The brain needs precise triggers to switch from intention to behavior. When the starting point is unclear, action keeps being postponed. The fix is to pre-write the action script. First, convert actions into if-then statements. If I sit at my desk, then I open the editing software. If I pour coffee, then I write 3 lines. Second, reduce the starting point to something instantly verifiable. Not "start working," but "open this specific file." Not "write," but "type the first line." Third, anchor the start to an existing habit. Use automated behavior to trigger new action. Fourth, remove vague language from schedules and lists. No prepare, no plan, only physical actions. When the starting point is clearly defined, beginning no longer depends on motivation. Sometimes you know exactly what to do and still get pulled away at the last moment. Your phone is nearby, tabs are open, notifications appear. It's not a lack of self-control. It's an environment hostile to action. Psychology calls this choice architecture. Behavior isn't driven by willpower, but by which option is easiest to take. When distraction is frictionless and meaningful action requires effort, the brain will repeatedly drift. That's why reminders to be disciplined rarely work. You're using personality to fight structure. The real solution is to redesign the environment so the right behavior becomes default. First, remove distractions instead of resisting them. Phone out of the workspace. Notifications off. Tabs cleared. This isn't testing focus, it's preventing the test. Second, keep action tools in a half-ready state. Files open, assets loaded, software running. When you sit down, only one action remains possible. Third, make the wrong choice inconvenient. Add steps to distraction. Not banning, just increasing friction. Fourth, make the right action obvious and unavoidable. Let the work fill the screen. Place prompts where your eyes naturally land. When the environment starts choosing for you, discipline no longer depends on daily condition. If you step back and look at all 5 causes, a pattern appears. Procrastination is rarely about time, and it's almost never about weak willpower. It's a chain of structural failures. Action blocked by emotional cost, replaced by planning, drained by repeated decisions, stalled by unclear starting points, and finally pulled away by a hostile environment. That's why discipline isn't about tightening control. Stable action comes from honest design. You don't need to push yourself harder. You don't need to wait for motivation or readiness. You only need one condition. When the time arrives, action should happen with almost no thinking. Change doesn't come from dramatic breakthroughs, but from repeated, precise adjustments to how behavior is structured. When action no longer depends on how you feel today, long-term advantage has already begun.